Hey, you! I need you to hit the subscribe button below. All praise, brother. I mean, you put in so many bricks, that brother don't remember.
Right.
All right,
Yeah,
officer, give me a said the sound is good. What about yourself, Yazzie? How was your week, officer?
My week is all right, man. We made it to the Sabbath.
Right.
It's good.
That's right.
Hey,
Shoot.
that's how it goes.
Friday, I see 4:30.
Right.
Fly out.
All praise to the
That's
Most High.
right.
All praise to the Most High. So let's get into it, man. If y'all been paying attention, a lot of stuff been going on in the world. That's what we're going to get into today, the truth amidst lies. We're going to deal with Northern Kingdom. Those of you out there that think you are Hispanic, so-called Native American, Boricua, what they call it?
Yeah,
Boricua.
Mino Negro.
Yeah, all those, you so-called Cubans specifically. We're going to deal with the tribe of Manasseh. Get that. Somebody pull up that first video of what's been going on over there in Cuba. Now, I want y'all to pay attention to something that's very important. Cuba has been a, dictatorship for a long time.
Yeah.
Communist country. It's been a communist country for a long time. And the people, to my knowledge, I don't know, they may have been protesting a lot. They may haven't. But last I remember, they had good health care. They had free health care. Yep. Certain things were in place where the people were taken care of to a degree. But when you watch this video, I want y'all to hear what the president says of why the protesting is taking place. Go ahead, press play.
Cuba, where thousands marched across several cities yesterday in some of the biggest anti-government demonstrations on the island nation in decades. People took to the streets protesting food shortages and high prices as the country suffers through a crippling economic crisis, exacerbated by the pandemic. So Manuel Borges is in Miami, where demonstrators also came out this weekend in a show of solidarity with Cuban protesters. Manny, good morning. What's going on?
Hold on, pause right there. Play the other video. Play the other video. I had posted another one in there. I think you had already downloaded this one. So what's going on is there's protests going on in Cuba due to they're tired of the government regulations and food prices and just rising prices in general have caused an upheaval amongst the people. The people are rioting, they're protesting, they won't change.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Where was all these people at when the U.S. had an embargo for many years against Cuba? And I know my grandfather is from the tribe of Manasseh. He passed away though, and when I was small, he used to tell me about growing up in Cuba. So when the U.S. had an embargo, the food price has always been high in Cuba.
Right.
So all of this, all of a sudden now, they need a change of regime, out the blue.
Out the blue.
You know, as soon as Biden hits the scene, everything's all bad now. Where was all of these people for many years when it was an embargo and a blockade against Cuba and the food prices was high back in the day for a long time?
Bring it out.
Right. There you go. That's an excellent point. Is this the USA Today? Thousands protest in Cuba, demanding food, medicine, and freedom? No, it was the USA Today. Look at the group. Look at the actual group. So what we're seeing is uproars of the people worldwide. Whether you in a democracy, because last I checked, America, we protested so much in America, it ain't even nothing new.
We haven't stopped.
Right. You got Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
You got the white people protesting. Everybody protests. Just a few months ago, it was what? About Asians.
Yes.
Stop Asian hate.
Yeah.
So all across the board, there was problems in a democracy. Now you go to a communist country, and the people are complaining.
Yeah, they still.
So it's letting you know nobody's gonna be at rest until the true rulers of the earth are in their position.
Right.
Because there's no way you can set a nation in order without God's law.
That's right.
That's what you got to understand. Whether you want a democracy, communist country, thinking the other word, I forgot the other word, a socialist country, whatever form of government you want, unless Christ is the president, it ain't gonna work.
Right.
Is this ain't
That's
it?
right.
Did you find it?
I forwarded it to y'all.
It's on YouTube. It's a YouTube video. It's the second video on the LDR show.
I was about to say, wasn't it a couple years ago, around Obama regime that they actually let us back in there?
Right, because I remember everybody was talking about they let them go to Cuba for free to become a doctor.
Okay.
Yeah, they was letting people become doctors. There you go. All right, play that video. Play the video.
An unprecedented display of anger and frustration in the streets of Cuba on Sunday. Thousands of anti-government rallies in large cities and small towns across the island of 11 million people. Citizens calling for an end to the decades-old communist dictatorship, protesting the island's dire economic conditions, food shortages, and the slow pace of COVID-19 vaccinations. In one area of Havana, protesters clashing with police. Elsewhere, they chanted "repressors" at riot police. Cubans voicing anger over the repression of civil liberties and the handling of the pandemic, amid what many are describing as the country's worst economic crisis in decades. President Miguel Díaz-Canel blaming the United States for the unrest.
Pause.
There it is.
Play that part again. Play that part again. Listen to what he says.
Economic crisis in decades. President Miguel Díaz-Canel blaming the United States for the unrest.
So the president is blaming the United States for what's taking place. Now, a lot of people say, everybody gonna blame America for what's going on. That's the easy way to do it. But Bishop showed you the video last week of the economic dude showing you how we go into every country.
Panama Deception.
You're right, in the Panama Deception. We go in every country and disrupt what's going on there. Go to 2nd Ezra, chapter 9. Let's start at verse 1 real quick, because I want to show y'all something going on. Show you where we at in the timeline of things.
2nd Ezra chapter 9 verse 1.
And we're going to read to verse 4.
He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made.
Ezra is being shown the signs of the times and the things to look for. Read.
Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes.
When there shall be seen earthquakes. Read.
And uproars of the people.
And what?
Uproars of the people.
And uproars of the people. Like we just mentioned, protest rioting is going on worldwide. Every few days, it's a different place. Remember when America, I think it was Iraq, right? Is that or was it Iran? Where they killed
Iran.
Where they killed Soleimani. Yeah. And you remember the imagery of the millions of people in the street protesting of what America did in their country just 2-3 weeks ago. Haiti, president killed.
Wow,
we can go on list and list and list, but it's showing you America is the man behind the problems that we're seeing in the world. And the result of that is what we're reading right here. Read that verse 3 again.
Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people and the world.
And uproars of the people in the world. Uproars of the people in the world. Then what?
Then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee.
Read.
Even from the beginning.
That's the difference in the men that you're looking at on the screen right now. We understand the things that are happening. We see it for what it is, and we understand it. We're not worried. We're not frustrated. We're not concerned, because when you read the Bible, we understand all these things will come to pass.
Right.
Now, you that are listening, those that are repentant and unrepentant, what we must do is hide in the secret place of the Lord, understanding that these things have to come to pass. But when you're spiritual and you're able to examine the book and you see it in real, it's just like, all right, cool. Hey, get ready.
Yeah, you see a movie
Get
playing
ready,
out.
right.
Yeah.
The movie is playing out right before your eyes. Go to Isaiah 26:3, and then if y'all got anything, bring it out, and we're going to finish the rest of that video. But what I want to show y'all is the Bible is the only book that can show you the end from the beginning, as he says in Isaiah 46. But read that first.
Isaiah chapter 26, verse 3.
Uh-huh.
Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace.
Thou will what?
Keep him in perfect peace.
Thou will keep him in perfect peace. Read.
Whose mind is stayed on thee.
Whose what?
Whose mind is stayed on thee.
Whose mind is stayed on thee. Meaning what? Whenever you're seeing the news, you're seeing the articles, you're seeing the things that are taking place against our people, you're able to see it, but you're focused. You're not worried. You keep your mind and your spirit in line with the scriptures to examine matters spiritually and not dealing emotionally or in your feelings in a carnal aspect. Right. You had something on that?
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's funny because Northern Kingdom getting a big wake up call.
Right.
It's like you mentioned about Haiti, half that island is Northern Kingdom, right? And they already had issues going over there. Now you got Cuba. Cuba's in the mix, right?
Right.
Hey, go to Psalms 119 and 71.
Bring it out.
Because we've been having a push. It's truly the 11th hour. Right. Brothers can't run around no more talking about like soldier said, "Mi no mareno." Nah, you suffering the same problems, right? Read that real quick.
That's right.
Book of Psalms, chapter 119, verse 71. It is good for me that I have been afflicted, that I might learn thy statutes.
Right. It's good that the Lord is afflicting us as a nation of people, so that way we can wake them up. So now, when Captain and them go over there and they're doing the camps and the flyer missions, Lord willing, the people hearken. It makes perfect sense. They're like you're saying, we already reading this, knowing what's going on. Now they can get an answer, and Lord willing, repent and wake up. So, like how we pray, brothers and sisters, repent. That's what you're praying for right here. We read in verse 71.
Right.
Lord gonna jack them up, and they recognize that it's time to wake up.
Absolutely. Hey, I'm glad you said. Go to Hosea 5 and 15.
Oh, you about to say.
I'll let you bring it out. Go ahead.
That's an alley-oop.
All right.
Bring it out. Go ahead, read that line. Read it sometime today. So that's an excellent point you brought out, because they starting to feel that they in captivity. Because a lot of these other the other tribes, I ain't gonna say nations, a lot of the other tribes outside of Judah, they take pride in their homeland. They take pride in being Cuban. Oh, I'm Dominican. Oh, I'm Haitian.
Yeah, they got a flag.
Daddy in. Right. You got your flag in your front mirror and on your license plate. And you got the balls, the Jamaican balls hanging down.
Good boy. Can we sidetrack?
Jamaican balls.
You seen that picture I posted in the group?
Nah, nobody saw it. Go ahead, read that shit.
Hosea chapter 5, verse 15. I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense and seek my face. In their affliction, they will seek me early.
So the Most High is saying is that when y'all go ahead and sit there and act like y'all just gonna do whatever you want because now you got your own homeland, you think you the ish because I'm a rep Cuba. I ain't like them Negroes over there who's complaining about getting shot every day. He says, I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense, till they acknowledge, say, hold on, we've been serving idols.
Right.
We've been on that BS.
Right.
We're not doing what we're supposed to do. That's why Americans come over and do whatever the heck they want to do.
There you go.
And our president is powerless. And then in their affliction, they will seek me early. So now's the time where we got brothers and the soldiers, the officers, the captains, deacons, bishops going over overseas, going to those places that we haven't really gone to yet, passing out flyers and teaching them the word, because now they're being afflicted. They might be like, okay, you know what? I think them purple dudes know what they talking about.
Right.
Maybe they know what they talking about. That's basically what's going on.
All praises. All praises. Hey, keep playing that video. Press play.
And calling on supporters to take back the streets during a nationally televised speech Sunday afternoon. Social media, still relatively new in Cuba, helping to fuel the...
Notice what they said. Social media, which is relatively new in Cuba, has fueled the protests. Why do y'all think that is? Because guess whose vision they're getting in their mind to say, you know what? This ain't good no more. I don't like free college.
Right.
I don't like free health care. I don't like a dictator telling us everything that we're supposed to do. Because now they're getting an American mindset. When you don't have no television, because you're only going to do what's accepted amongst you.
Right.
It's just like now, we teach our children to keep the commandments. Don't eat pork, shrimp, crab, lobster. We go keep the Sabbath day. We don't do this. We don't do that. We put fringes on our garments. That's normal to them. Because that's what's taught to them. Likewise, in Cuba, that is the lifestyle that they lived for years, and it was never a problem. Because to some extent, they were able to keep the American influence out of the country.
Right.
That's like when you go to Cuba, you see all the old cars and all that stuff. And I always wondered why that was, but you brought that out.
Embargo.
They had the embargo, so they couldn't have none of those new things. But go back. I want them to hear it again before we bring out the scripture. Somebody give me that revelation about the flood.
Bring it out.
They pushing that liberal vision.
I got you, Cap.
All right. Play.
Nationally televised speech Sunday afternoon. Social media still relatively new in Cuba, helping to fuel the demonstrations. The hashtag #SOSCuba taking off on Twitter and shared by celebrities. Here in the U.S., solidarity protests spilling into the streets of Miami and other cities across the country.
Everyone in Cuba is go out on the street. Everybody in Cuba asking for the freedom.
U.S. officials expressing support for the Cuban protesters, and a member of the U.S. State Department tweeting, "We stand by the Cuban people's right for peaceful assembly. We call for calm and condemn any violence."
Pause. So they're using social media to portray the message that they want out there. Read Revelation 12 and 15, and then go to Revelation 13 in verse 15. Read that.
Revelation chapter 12, verse 15.
Uh-huh.
And the serpent cast out his mouth, water as a flood.
So the serpent cast out of his mouth. The serpent is Esau.
Right.
The serpent is Esau and all his
That's
minions.
right.
It says he cast out water. The water is the messaging. As a what?
As a flood.
As a what?
As a flood.
Read.
After the woman.
After the woman is Israel. Right here you're seeing Cuba. Now they're getting a little social media. Yeah. Now they're getting caught up in the flood as well. Read.
Right. That he might cause her to be carried away of the flood.
Right. To be carried away what? Just like everybody else on the earth. Now they on that same wavelength. This is the power that no other nation has. Silicon Valley is in America.
Yes.
That's where all those billion-dollar startups, that your Twitter, your Facebook, your Instagram, that messaging ain't coming from Rome. The messaging ain't coming from Europe. It ain't coming from Great Britain. So when you're asking where's Mystery Babylon, it's in America. This is the place where the flood is being pushed forth throughout the four corners of the earth. Read that again.
It says, and the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood.
Read.
After the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood.
That he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. So now these Cubans that have been living in a dictatorship, communist community for years. I'm not saying it was perfect, but they were content with it.
Yeah.
But now that America has pushed their influence, now there's uproars of the people.
Hey,
go ahead.
You know it's heavy, but I'm looking up definition with propaganda. Because I used to always hear that a lot when it comes to other countries regarding U.S. You can pull up the definition real quick. Propaganda. Because that's exactly what they use it for.
That's exactly what that is. 100% correct. That's an excellent term we need to bring out for the people. It is a war tactic. So, okay, good. Y'all got to read that up. I can't see
propaganda. Information, especially of a biased or misleading nature, used to promote or publicize a particular political cause or point of view.
Right. So they're trying to establish their vision.
Right.
In another man's country. That's what they're trying to do, and they're going to use it with the social media. Like you stated with the Facebooks and the TikToks and all the other stuff.
Yep.
And
absolutely.
That's crazy because a lot of countries, they censor that stuff.
Yep.
That's why you can't watch certain YouTube videos or anything against the country. They shut it down.
Yep.
That makes sense, though. They're trying to keep the enemy out.
There you go. 100%. You had something on that?
I was thinking because China was doing the same thing.
There you go.
When it came to that Moabite that was trying to rap and pretty much trying to rap like Young Thug and all them.
They shut him down.
They shut him down because he had like women all in the videos doing all that stuff. But they knew that's poison to the mind. They knew that's evil communication. Hey, we're not letting that up in here.
Find that link so we can send it to him. Find that link. I want to get that. Go ahead.
And they made him apologize to the nation.
Yeah, and he had to apologize on national TV.
We gotta find that one. We gotta find that one. Showing you what China ain't gonna be the next. They ain't the great Mystery Babylon either. If you think they is, it damn sure ain't Iraq. Iraq. And people like say that's Babylon.
Nope.
No, that ain't it either. Go to Revelation 13. You got that?
Revelation 13, verse 15.
Start at verse 13.
Verse 13. And he doeth great wonders.
America has done great wonders on the earth. Let's read about some of them.
So that he maketh fire come down from heaven.
He made fire come down from heaven. What is that? Nuclear bombs. To this day, America is still the only country, right, that has dropped a nuclear bomb on another country. Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Read.
On the earth in the sight of men.
On the sight of men. They actually dropped nuclear bombs on a land of people. They did that. That's not, we ain't making this up.
Nah.
That's historical fact. America has killed hundreds of thousands of people at a moment's notice with a bomb. Read.
And deceived them that dwell on the earth.
And they deceived them that dwell upon the earth because what? Even though this country is known for its high level of wickedness, people still come in groves to America with hopes that it's better there.
Right.
Somehow these people that are murderers, assassinators, slave owners, somehow by coming to their land, it's a better place than where you're at currently.
The land of the free.
Right. Read.
And deceived them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles, which he had power to do in the sight of the beast.
Read.
Saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast.
They should make an image to the beast. Caesar Borgia. Read.
Which had the wound by a sword and did live.
Read.
And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast.
That's the key part that I want. He has power to give life unto the beast. Now, we know that's talking about them bringing Caesar Borgia to life. But they have power through their imagery, through their media, to bring life to whatever it is that they want. If they want an uproar in their country, hey, let's start a hashtag.
Yeah.
Let's start a social media campaign. Let's use propaganda against this country to take it down. Read.
That the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
Should be killed, figuratively and literally. Like we just said, how did they figuratively kill Cuba? The embargo. Yeah. Years they behind. Like we said, they still riding around in old cars that you see in movies of the civil rights movements.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's what they riding around in. Because if you don't agree and take the mark of the beast, which is what? Agreeing to their finances, agreeing to their policies, you can't deal with them.
Right.
That's what the mark of the beast is. It ain't a vaccine. It ain't a debit card.
Right. Bring it out.
It's agreeing to American policies. All right. Finish that video.
To make matters worse, the government cut off the internet in Cuba yesterday, and this, of course, made it harder for the international community and those living in more remote parts of the...
What they said? They did what?
They cut the internet.
They cut the internet off. You see that?
You see that? Cut the head of the snake.
They had to cut. That's the power of the beast in the flood. They said, "Hey, cut it off. This is the only way we can keep our people brains sane."
Right.
Press play.
The government cut off the internet in Cuba yesterday, and this, of course, made it harder for the international community and those living in more remote parts of the island to really know what was happening. So right now, there seems to be more optimism in Miami than in Havana. On the ground in Cuba, there are mixed emotions. Sources I've spoken to say that they're hopeful that this could be the beginning of the end, and that with enough international attention and pressure, it's possible that things could change. Back to you guys.
All right, Morgan, thank you very much.
Now, I wanted to touch the other part of that aspect when they said, because remember, they said they were protesting amid government and rising food prices as well. Yeah. Go to Revelation 6 and verse 5. Bishop brought this out probably about a year ago when he went through his Revelation class. And another sign that we're in the last days and that the beast is upon the earth is that food will be at a high price. The prices won't be adding up. Read that.
Revelation chapter 6, verse 5. And
Bring
when he
it
had
out.
opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, "Come and see." And I beheld, and lo, a black horse. And he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand.
Right, a pair of balances in his hand. Things when you had certain things, it should match up. The price should match up. Yeah. Me paying $1 for a hamburger, that's all right. That makes sense. Processed meat, processed cheese, not real food makes sense. A gallon of gas, $2.50. Okay, that makes about sense. But when you got a gallon of gas, $10, the balances ain't make sense. When you got a house in the hood costs $400,000.
Hey, bring it out.
A 1-bedroom, 1 bath, $500,000.
No sense
The balances ain't adding up
at all.
Read.
Verse 6, and I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny.
A measure of wheat for a penny. And speaking about the food, read.
And 3 measures of barley for a penny. And see, thou hurt not the oil and the wine.
Right. Going into what? That it would be an unjust economy during this time period when these seals are open. That's what we're seeing across the 4 corners of the earth now. So y'all gotta open up your spiritual eyes and see where we at in these last days and repent and come back to your true nationality as the Israelites.
Right.
Because we are the only people that's going to give you the true understanding of the Bible. Nobody else has the understanding of these scriptures and able to expand upon it to give our people life and receive salvation.
That's right.
Y'all have something on that? Go ahead. Play. Hey, I saw you found that article about the video of the Chinese dude. Go ahead, read that.
Chinese rapper apologizes for his offensive lyrics by blaming influence of black music.
Wow.
Blame the black man.
So this is showing you the influence that we have, but it's also showing you that in other countries outside of America, you're not getting away with doing whatever the hell you want to.
Not at all.
It's not like that anywhere else. So how could any other nation be responsible for casting out a flood to deceive the whole earth?
Right.
Because nobody else has that power to influence everybody.
What was that? I think it's Captain Get a Liar. I was watching one of the classes he was teaching, and it's some Middle Eastern country. They was going on the TikTok and trying to dress provocatively, and they locked them up.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Up behind it, and they charge them because they saying they provoking. They basically provoking the men to commit fornication, basically.
Landfall to whoredom.
Yeah. So that was crazy. They did the same thing.
Wow.
There was one more thing in this too, though.
Yeah.
If y'all could scroll down to where it says "Meanwhile," PG-1, it's like under one of the pictures where he's next to like 2 other people. You scroll down a little bit.
We had a video and they blocked.
Look right under that. Meanwhile, there we go. I just want the first sentence.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, PG-1 has been condemned across the board by Chinese state media. I just wanted to say that because if it was in America, it would have been all cool.
There you go.
Destroy the black man. Yeah, go ahead, do that. You would have got a record deal. Whole record deal with Birdman.
I get a precept on that, Cap.
Yeah, he would have been Young Money.
Yeah, go ahead.
Habakkuk 1, 9 and 10 real quick.
Bring it out.
To show you the nature of Esau that God told us about.
Nature.
We know this is talking. We know this is referring to Israel, but this is all for other nations as well.
The book of Habakkuk, chapter 1. They shall come all for violence.
So every time America go into these other nations, that's their intent. Like he said, word is smooth as butter, but in his heart was war. He said he should come all for violence. We don't understand that, but these other nations who think he's God on earth don't understand that. That's why they get the results they get. Read on.
Their faces shall sup up as the east wind.
Read on.
And they shall gather the captivity as the sand.
3.
And they shall scoff at the kings.
So now this is the pride of them. They said they should scoff at the kings. They don't care what man is in leadership. Once they decide to take that land or take the resources of that, they scoff at them. They don't care who's in power at the time. Read on.
And the princes shall be a scorn unto them.
Like how you were saying over there in Iran, like how they bombed the people over there, and they said they killed one of their princes.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's the same thing right here. They scoff at the princes. Read on.
They shall deride every stronghold.
They should do what?
Deride every stronghold.
Like we seeing going on with Cuba now. They're deriding that stronghold right there. They was like the officer was bringing out, Officer Yazia. They was fine before. Now they cutting in social media, disrupting the people. You just should deride every stronghold. You know?
They shall deride every stronghold, for they shall heap dust and take it.
And the heap dust is talking about the confusion we were speaking about earlier. They should heap dust, cause confusion. Then when the people confused, riot and all that stuff, they're going to take what they came for.
Excellent point.
I was about to tell you, you read verse 11, because I wouldn't be surprised if when this is all said and done, they're going to be voting and have democracy.
There you go. You know that's what's going to happen. Go ahead.
Hey, bring it up.
Verse 11. Then shall his mind change.
After he done took it all over.
Right.
And he shall pass over and offend.
And what?
And offend.
Read.
Imputing this his power unto his God.
Right. They're going to be done.
That's the end game. That's they come with violence. Then after they assassinate your president, they bring in the vaccine. Then what? Then they bring in democracy. Then they bring in white man Jesus.
So they gonna say, to the people that this is God's doing. That's what they say.
Right.
Like that?
Manifest destiny.
There you go. That's what they do. That's what they do. Then they want to live a peaceable life.
Right.
And they tell you, forget history. Don't worry about history.
Slavery.
You're right.
It's a long time ago.
But then they'll go to 1776. And they'll celebrate July 4th every year. But they'll tell you forget about slavery. Like, hold on now. That was the same time period. Same exact time period.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. I.U.I.C. has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold. From Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. I.U.I.C, we deliver the truth.